STEM Club Teen Edition Stack the Snack. Today we're going to take a normal snack food and we are going to stack them into a ring. You should have already picked up your take and make bag that will have everything you need for this project. Let's get started. In your take and make bag, you're going to find a can of Pringles. And this is what we're going to be using for the project. No tape, no glue, nothing. So the first thing that we're going to do is just open the can, set the lid and the seal aside, and just take out a few of your chips and take a look at the shape of the chip. And that's an important part of why this works. So we're going to take a chip, we're going to set it down, and you want to make sure that you set it down this way. The only way I know to tell you is, like, if you know what a horse saddle looks like, you want to put this part down so it does look like a saddle. This is not the shape that we want for the project. It's not going to work if you do it that way. You want to flip it so the ends are curved up and the middle part is touching your surface. So you'll start with one chip and then you're going to stack two on it. And what we want to do is overlap the bottom chip. And it may take just a couple times of setting your chip on there to get it to work. But there you're going to do. And then you're just going to keep doing that. And we're going to do the one layer and then a two layer a couple of times just to establish a good base. And your composure or composition might kind of tilt to one side, and that's okay. That's not going to hurt anything. But again, I've got one chip down, and then I'm going to put another chip here and another chip here. And they might get a little tricky, but you can always just kind of take your finger and place them. And we'll do one more like that just to solidify our base. Okay, there we go. And now, if you're feeling good about that, you can put one more on top. And then we can start moving out a little bit. And again, we're putting them all down this way so that the ends have flipped up. And that's going to help us create our circle. So we're going to do this. And we want to overlap. And that's the important part of this. Overlapping these chips is helping to create a base. And it's helping to lock each layer in. And if they slip a little, you might just have to hold it like so until you can get your locking piece in, like that. And so now we're going to just keep working up, and you'll be adding more chips to each curve, like here and here. And it's okay to use chips that have little pieces out of them like this, but if they're only half a piece of chip, you're not going to want to use that. So we're going to go here and here. And so then you'll just take some more chips out of your package as you need it. And we'll just go here and attach here and here. And you see I have more, and see, if you're not careful and you touch it, you're gonna knock pieces off, but that's okay. You just build it back, making sure that you just stack and lock in. And if you feel like you need an additional chip here to keep your pieces in place, go ahead and do that. And here. And you notice we're starting to get our curve. And as the weight shifts, you might see something like that where your entire ring starts to shift. And if you have to slide another chip under here to keep your base secure, go ahead and do that. And we just keep alternating sides, trying to keep our ring as close to the same curve on each side as possible. I'm gonna lock those in. And one of the reasons that your chips slide when you add another chip is because that's the weight of that is locking down the rest of the chips underneath it. So then it kind of loosened this one here. See, I'm doing that. So you just will want to put it back, add another chip. We're going to go here and add a chip. I'm going to lock in place here. Get some more chips out of my can. There, secure here, I'm going to stack here, secure here, and I'm going to stack one here just to keep those in place, and go here. Starting to come around. We're a little off kilter, but that's okay. All right, that one's kind of not wanting to stay, so I think I'm going to secure here and maybe secure here and see if that will help. And if for some reason you get curving around this way, where your chip's starting to turn upside down and you can't get it to stay, you can always tuck them in here. Oops, slide. All right. Let's see if we can get this one to go around. Oops. I broke a piece off of that one. It's a pretty good chunk, so I think I'm not going to use it. Secure that. Let's see how we doing. get up to this part of your ring, it's not going to work if you put your chips in like we had been talking about, unless you do it here. But if you're tucking them in, you're going to have to turn them upside down to follow the shape. So we'll tuck that in right there. And maybe we'll set this one right here for some support. Let's see. We might have to go this way. Might have to put some support here. See if it'll stay. Nope. And let's see if we can get alright. And again, remember, we're following the shape of the chip. There we go. Alright. See, I almost tried to put it like this. You want to just keep following the shape of your chip. And there we have it. We have a completed ring. So the parts that make this experiment actually work are, number one, the shape of the chip. Remember, we've got kind of a curved, saddle-shaped chip. You can't do this experiment with regular potato chips. You have to get the Pringles. Even the off-brand chips probably won't work for this experiment. But the important parts that will make it work is gravity. As you noticed, when we stacked in some parts, when we put another chip on, it kind of loosened the places where we had them stacked. And that's because the chip here, the gravity is pulling it down, and then it's making an opening in another spot on the chip. And the other part that makes it work is friction. Because the chips are a little bit textured, there's a lot of friction between the chips, and they grab onto each other and make it so they don't slide very well. Now, in some cases they did when we were trying to stack them, but in the case where the friction wasn't enough, we used another chip, created some gravity, and then that held the chip in place where it was. So you couldn't do this with, say, Jell-O, because Jell-O, there's no friction there. It's just the friction of the texture of the chips and the gravity. Thank you for joining us today for Virtual STEM Club Teen Edition Stack the Snack. I hope you had a lot of fun with this experiment and that it was successful for you, even if you had to try it a time or two. We'd love to see any pictures or video of you doing the experiment, and you can share them with us at the email address that is showing on your screen now. Thanks again, and see you next time. Bye.